Thinking of heading to France and wondering what you can eat? Don't worry. France may be the home of bread and love, but there's lots for you to enjoy if you just know where to look. In this video, I'm going to give you some really valuable tips on planning and enjoying your trip. Paris, in particular, is full of great food, lovely people and culture, so don't let gluten get in the way of having a really lovely time. Now, majority of people who work in tourism do speak English. However, not all, so it's really good to know what to look for when asking and purchasing gluten-free food. So I've tried to find a nice quiet spot in Paris, which is actually quite difficult to do, to go through some of these gluten-free goodies that I've picked up at the grocery store. Now, the first thing when looking for gluten-free food in France is to understand what gluten-free means in French. So you want to look for this, sans gluten or sans gluten. So the next thing you want to look for is the cross grain symbol. So this symbolizes gluten-free. It's pretty universal. In France, though, we have the Allergy logo, which is the French Celiac Society. So this means that this product has been certified and licensed through the French Celiac Association, Allergy. So if you take a look and you find products of this, you're guaranteed that they're gluten-free. You may also find this symbol as well. It says face, so it's pronounced face. This is the Spanish Celiac Association. So basically it's the same thing. You'll find that a lot of products inside Europe are multi-language. For example, we've got 4 languages on this particular pack. It's just because the cost to produce gluten-free food is quite expensive, so what they'll do is manufacturers will try to put as many languages on pack as possible. Another interesting thing that you'll find, which doesn't really pertain to any travelers, but I think it's an interesting bit of information, a lot of the gluten-free products have this little sticker on them. And what this is that people who have a prescription for gluten-free food, which is quite common in Europe, they'll peel that off and they'll send it into the for their health care, and they'll get reimbursed for the product, which I think is a pretty neat idea. The other thing that you're going to want to pay attention to are the ingredients list. You may want to get yourself familiar with various words in French prior to coming. Everything, because things are written in foreign language, including French, it's actually particularly overwhelming and a bit daunting when you're going into a grocery store to even read an ingredient list to see if there's anything in there that may give you grief. There are tons of lovely naturally gluten-free products in France. Cheeses, vegetables, chocolate, all sorts of good things. So there's lots of things you can eat. Just being able to understand what you're eating and ensuring that you're not eating anything that's going to give you any problems. So where to buy gluten-free? The 2 biggest retailers in France are Carrefour and Casino, and both have excellent selections of gluten-free products. There are many other retailers in France too, so it's best to Google the chain nearest to where you're staying, just in case you want to pick something up while you're there. So there's 3 places you can find gluten-free in most retailers, depending on the size. If you're going to one of the large supermarkets, you're more than likely to find fresh product. So the first place to look is in the fresh area of the grocery store. I found this Live Well fresh bread in the bakery. It was on its own little display shelf. I'll show you a picture of that here. The other place to look is in the Allergy Aisle. This is an aisle dedicated to dietary needs like Weight Watchers. They'll have organic foods and foods that are generally lower in sugar, salt, and gluten-free. And the third place to look is in the freezer section, because a lot of grocery stores in France carry gluten-free products within the freezer section. So that would be frozen entrees or frozen bread. Again, depending on the size of the supermarket, make sure you poke your head into the cooler section or the freezer section to see if there's anything there that's suitable for you. My advice for dining out is to search for gluten-free restaurants before you go. TripAdvisor is a great tool and is a great way to see how others rated their experience. Keep the restaurant names and addresses handy in the event you can't find something suitable at the time. This is a great help, especially when you are tired and don't have a lot of free time to waste going from restaurant to restaurant. So what are my top tips? Plan ahead. Do your homework and keep the names and addresses of gluten-free friendly places with you at all times. This will seriously take the stress out of finding something in short notice. Secondly, buy some gluten-free basics while you're there and bring them with you when you're out and about. France is full of beautiful parks, and it's super easy to enjoy a lovely wheel of brie and a bottle of wine if you've got a gluten-free baguette on hand. Thirdly, print off a few of those translated travel cards you find all over the internet to hand out to serving staff. This will ensure the waiter understands what you need without a lot of fuss and confusion. And finally, have fun. France is an amazing holiday destination, and there is so much to enjoy, even while eating gluten-free. If you like that video and you want to see more, please do like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Have a great holiday. Bye!